Okay, folks, I got my mask. I'm headed to courtroom 4G for Eric Brandt. We're gonna figure out if that's at the beginning, FG, or at the Lindsay Flanagan Courthouse. The original order was May 31st. The courts were closed, the buildings. It took me about 20 minutes of research to find the case. I was on the phone with Pikes Peak auditors, and we kind of talked through it. We went through the court cases, the counties, called the Jefferson County. So Eric supposedly has an 8:30, which is like right now, court date, and I'm like a couple blocks away. So we're moving as fast as I can to the courthouse. If this stream dies, it's because they let me in the building and I'm not going to jail for recording. The constitutional question, as it may be, needs to be held. I don't need an arrest today. So, again, for those of you who are just jumping on board, 8 o'clock this morning, I went to go live at my house. May the 4th be with you. Right as I was going live, I got a text message that Eric was going to court. So, we looked at it, we hunted it up. Courtroom 4G is not searchable in the Denver City and County Courtroom database. But if you go to the state of Colorado court database website, you will find that they are indeed holding court according to the ledger 4G this morning, right about now. So whether it's the attorney, thank you Pikes Peak, thank you for keeping up the good work, right? Teamwork makes the dream work, or so they say. So I'm gonna try to get into the building. If they deny me access, we're gonna stay live. If they allow me in, I'm gonna cut out, and then we'll come back live after we get the information. But as you guys who are watching these unedited, unscripted, syndicated journalistic reports know, my own court date to ask the constitutional question, is it legal to film in the police department lobby, or do they have the authority? There's nothing here. Usually this road is full of vans, right? There's one vehicle here. So I got before I try to get into the building. So I'm gonna do that now. Take my baseball cap off in the courthouse. And find out if they let us in the building. Let them in the court? Are you letting people into court? So there's court in 4G, is that this building? There's court happening at 8:30 this morning. I'm requesting access to the court. Update version 2.0. There's a hand washing station, and you all need to call this number right now and enter the courtroom. back. We are live. We are down at D. If you're not watching on your phone, you need to call this. John Speedway. Good. Hello. Good to see you all here. If you're back, if you're live, give me one so that I know you're present. This is the phone number you need to call. That is the code you need to enter. This is a open courtroom and an open session. So if Eric Brandt has a hearing this morning, this is where the hearing is going to be. And that's Janet. Hold on. Damn, I just learned that my sunglasses are broken. So that sucks. Send your prayers for Eric. So here's the deal. Here's the phone number. Here's the code. 720-650-9525-856-632 is 4G. Press the pound time twice. I did not get into the building. I just got into the foyer. At the foyer, they would not let me through the security checkpoint, but I could not videotape legally unless I risk arrest. So I just let the thing go into chaos mode right now. So right now, call that, get into the queue. It's supposed to be like open court where you can hear everything that's going on and pay attention. Okay, so I'm going to keep the live stream going because I'm going to go back to the house and I'm going to dial this in for those of you who cannot watch the live stream and listen to the call at the same time. And I know you want to listen to the call to be here. So, fortunately, I'm just a short distance from home. There we go, friends and code. Thank you for keeping that rolling. Janet actually called me, right? So Janet called me, said, Eric's supposed to be in court. Well, here's the deal. It's a low rider this morning. Here's the deal. It will be live. And we're gonna get back to the house as close as we can and sit on hold and bullshit this stuff through. Hopefully some of you are on laptops. And that means that you can dial into your computers through your Google phone call infrastructure, or you can watch while you listen to the case. You're in, waiting for Eric. That's good. I'm getting there. I'm a couple blocks away from my house. This is the dream work of the teamwork. What's the link? Marita Gladson, I got some needles from you in the mail. They're gonna post it in the chat, right? Take my mask off now. So if you're just joining us, or if you're Janet Madsen trying to get on the phone, we do know that 4G is supposed to have court today. We know that Eric's supposed to have a hearing. I think it's an arraignment, but I can't remember off the top of my head. We'll get information again as soon as we get back to the house, because it's sitting on my computer screen. We will do this live. We will do this phone call. And we'll just keep on it, folks. Never a dull day in our lives. So, may the 4th be with you. Good morning. Is that Sally Smith or Gma Pam? I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. Looks like I might be getting mirrored by Friends in Code already. Gotta love him. We're gonna... phone numbers are there. And basically we got a call from Eric. And there's a phone number, then there's a passcode, then you punch into that, and you'll get in the queue, but you're supposed to be able to listen to the courtroom proceedings as they're happening. And so it's supposed to be open court. This is their version of open court. They're going to give you the ability to listen, but no guffaws from the crowd. Your microphone will be muted. You will not be able to have outrage as you storm out of the courtroom. The judge won't hear it. The other defendants of crimes that they did not or did commit, it depends, right? I mean, listen, you're a pederast, I don't want you on the streets, right? If your lifestyle is breaking into small businesses and robbing them, and that's how you work, I'm probably, not a big fan of that. But if you use your mouth for free speech to defend the Constitution of the United States of America, then I say God bless you. If you served your country and you took an oath to the Constitution of the United States and you're an oath keeper, I really don't think that it matters whether you are in a jail cell or whether you have a gun on your hip and a badge on your chest. Honor the Constitution in which you swore an oath to. A lot of people these days don't understand the concept of swearing fidelity, of oath, of loyalty, right? I mean, marriage is an oath that half the time is broken, right? For one reason or another. So, I'm getting there. So action, and I'm on foot. I'm not rolling through on a bicycle right now. Hopefully next week. Is what we want. Is we want all those cases to be heard while you're listening. So, if you do not get the right to hear all the cases for all defendants, then you have a grievance against your government, and you were denied access to an open courtroom. Because it's not just about hearing the case that you're there for, it's about hearing all the other cases, right? Open court means open. What other people are being charged of, their case numbers, how we might find out their situations and actually be able to defend them with knowledge, support them through phone calls, mail, things like that. Or even, thank you, Keith Anderson. I'm almost home. I am just a half a block away. So we are gonna go dial in this right now and find this. I think maybe Pikes or Friends and Code might also have things going on live. Did you see my garden this morning? Happy May the 4th, by the way. Those lettuce, garlic, basils, those are all givers. They're all freebies. Into the dungeon. Okay, laptop's gonna get up. It's funny because I probably could have actually done this from the courthouse on my laptop and just sat outside the building. That would have been funny. I could have. I forgot. I had my laptop with me. I didn't have to spend all that time. But here, more workspace to work with. So, we're gonna get bald again. Thank you for Keith Richards for the donation, and I'm gonna call Google Hangouts now. This number is 720-650-7855. 7664. And I don't think they're going to let us into a video call. We could try. That would be funny. Wait, what? 720-650-7664. For those of you joining us live, we are going to court with Eric Brandt now.
Welcome to WebEx. Enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound.
925856632 pound.
Enter your attendee ID number followed by pound. If you do not know your attendee number, press pound to continue.
Pound.
On behalf of Mr. Pearsall, via WebEx.
All right, Mr. Pearsall, you're on the video conference. Can you see us and hear us okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We're on for a status and an arraignment today, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor. We are hoping to come to a community corrections agreement in this case. Mr. Pearsall currently has a few matters pending in Arapahoe County, which would prevent him from even being considered for Concord at this point.
Right.
There, June 15th. So I would request a continuance of the arraignment.
Ms. O'Connor?
Your Honor, I'm not sure whether or not community corrections will be a viable option for the defendant, but I do not have an objection to one further continuance to see if he can resolve his matter in another jurisdiction so that he be eligible for community corrections.
Okay. Perfect. We'll set this out past June 15th. June 22nd?
That's fine with the people.
Is that
Pass me.
all right. June 22nd, 8:30, both cases, and we'll see what we've got going then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Pearsall, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We have Mr. Dunlop on the line if we want to go back to Mr. Johnson. He said anything. There he is.
Let's try it.
Number 17.
Okay, perfect. 20 CR 848 is back with us, P.O. versus Johnson.
I'm Dunlop for the people.
In KC Duncan on behalf of Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, are you still on the line?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, thank you. Mr. Johnson, can you hear us okay?
Yes.
All right, matters on for arraignment this morning.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Johnson and I did connect last week, but we have not been able to fully review the facts of this case. I did get an offer from Mr. Dunlop, but do need some time to present some mitigation. I'm requesting one continuance. I'll defer to the court on how long Mr. Johnson's on bond, so I don't need more than 30 days, but I'll defer to the court.
That's all right. Let's try and keep things on schedule. Mr. Dunlop?
People would defer to the court, Your Honor.
All right, 30 days. June 8th at 8:30?
That works, thank you.
People can accept.
All right. Mr. Johnson, June 8th at 8:30, okay?
Yes.
So this is
Okay,
5/4/2020.
Mr. Johnson, I don't know if we'll be
Courtroom
back
calendar.
live or still doing this remotely, so please stay in touch with Ms. Duncan and she'll let you know how to come to court, okay?
Cannot get into courtroom
We'll
4G,
continue until June 8th, 8:30.
but courtroom 4F is closed. It's available on the calendar.
Judge, this is Robert Halpern.
Yes, sir.
We have Mr. Dunlop. I believe Mr. Baskerville is on the line. Those are 4, 5, 6, and 7.
All right, that sounds good.
So here is Dispo for courtroom 4F.
18 CR 2627, 19 CR 5074, and 20 CR 485. All people versus Baskerville.
Let me just confirm, Mr. Baskerville, are you on? Robert Halford, I'm back from Mr. Baskerville. I'm appearing by video. Mr. Baskerville is on the phone.
And for the people, Mr. Dunlop?
So
Tom Dunlop, people.
all the court dates are canceled. 1:30, 1 o'clock today. Right, you can see that already canceled. Everything vacated. There's some that are continued. Now, if this case is vacated, does that mean it's done and over with? Let's find out. Melina Martinez for careless driving.
Mr. Baskerville, are you with us? Yes, sir. Okay, and can you hear us okay?
No, it hasn't been vacated. Just the court date. The case hasn't been vacated.
Matters on
Jeez. Up again, 7-6.
Today,
For another arraignment.
Some trials.
2 months down the
What's
road.
happening, Mr. Halpern?
So, Judge, Mr. Dunlop and I have been over the last couple weeks. Also, Mr. Baskerville and I.
I can't do this for the 4G.
Mr. Dunlop said this last night. I think that what I've been hoping for, Mr. Baskerville and I have been trying to work towards, was rejected by Mr. Dunlop. Given where we stand now, Mr. Baskerville is asking that these cases proceed
So again,
to
this
trial.
is 4F.
Okay.
We have a preference on order, Judge. I don't know if Mr. Dunlop does or the court does. And of course, I can state our preference.
Go ahead, Mr. Halpern.
Going by number on the docket, we would request number 6 first,
So there's 3G.
number 5, then 4, then 7.
No. 4G. Okay.
Seven.
So we're
Mr.
just going
Dunlop?
to check another one just to show you
The
these.
people's preference is to set them chronologically.
And Judge, I also misspoke. 6, 4, then 5. Sorry.
These are review dates set for 9 o'clock
All right.
today.
What does chronological do?
Still can't get in the courtroom. So this is Redden Bradley.
So
He's got a fraud
chronologically, it would be the 2627 case,
Criminal devices.
then the 6124 case,
This happened last year in
then
November,
5074, and then 1,
right?
which we haven't entered a not guilty plea on the 20 case yet.
The judge is saying we haven't even entered a not guilty
My
plea.
right trial on 5074 for May 19th, which we know isn't going to happen.
I believe so.
So
I
5-4,
thought that had gotten vacated, but
review
yet.
date, disposition reset.
At least not that I recall. What are we doing on speedy? Well, let's see. We have speedy trials of October. Okay. Mr. Halpern wants to do. Let me ask this question. How long for each of these trials?
I believe each of them is 3 days of habitual days with the
All right.
For those of you who are just joining, I'm going to mute the thing for a second. We are waiting on a court date for Eric Brandt. We are live, and there's telephonic court happening today. I wanted to show you that there is a inmate information on this here. Pay a fine. No request a court date. What? Review a court docket. This is what we're doing right now.
Identical speedy trial dates.
So today's date is 5/4/2020.
So,
And if you want to get into this and listen live, that's the phone number.
The perceived seriousness of the charges, frankly.
We're going to look for 4G where we're at right now.
Which I think will be at 507
Not available. This is the secret courtroom holding.
And then
the docket is not visible online. You cannot look up the cases under the Denver County Court. Okay? Which one might think, oh, that's a district court. So let's see if we can find the district court.
To clarify the court, if the court's intending to set them in order of seriousness, the 2627 has a DF2, and the 6124, the highest charge, is the DF3. So the court may be inclined to switch them.
So this is the fun and excitement of sitting in a courtroom. If you want to find Denver County, here we go. We're going to go 6-month range just for the hell of it.
Court is inclined to switch. Okay, so we're going to just give you some trial dates. I have, and I don't keep meaning to harp on this, but you all know the situation. There is not a ton of flexibility here, so we'll do what we can. Mr. Baskerville is on bond, so if worst comes to worst, I'm sure one of my colleagues over the city and county building could possibly cover some of these, but let us.
Colleagues at the city and county building. That's key. We know he's in Lindsay Flanagan.
5074 case.
August 25th?
August 25th.
Various court dates, and as you can see, there's already conflicts here.
All right.
Eric has a Elbert County hearing and a jury trial in Jefferson County on the same day.
September 1st.
So those aren't going to happen.
Not accept that date, unfortunately.
I can accept that date, Judge.
So Mr. Dunlop can,
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
This is COVID in Colorado, by the way.
Mr. Dunlop,
Denver.
can you get something? I mean, there's very little I can do here.
Right. Under the circumstances, I will accept it.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Your Honor. That was
All right.
that was correct.
Right. And then 6124. September 8th.
I can accept that.
People can accept that.
All right. And then finally, the 24845 case. That's in November. October 6th.
People can accept that.
Yeah, there's 77 of you watching. 76 plus me.
October 6th, I can accept that.
Oh, that's the
Perfect.
Seattle stream.
Okay. So, I'm not inclined to do pre-trials on these unless somebody really feels an urgent need.
Trial conferences.
Motions, I'll do the morning of trial, but I'll do 7 case. Bond will continue till that date.
Are we doing this motion?
And I got a very good question. On the 20 case, we need to set a dispo motions date.
Yes, please. And Judge, I think the first date is actually August 25th, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. August 25th. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
I just want to post this.
So on the 485 case, dispo motions, 30 days. Yeah.
June 15th and 19th.
Post
June
this link in
15th
here
and
once the
19th.
chat comes up. Trying to curb some of my channels here.
People can accept that.
I can accept that, Judge.
Okay. So bond will continue till June 15th.
This
at
is the
8:30
19
on the
CR
20
2197.
And
It's
our
a
first
preliminary
trial,
hearing.
August 25th in the 19 CR.
We believe this will be
case.
one of the threats
All 3
cases,
days.
probably.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't know if the court wants to put on the record. I don't know if the court has specifically said or called mistrials in the other cases, or how we want to proceed with that.
Well, the speedy was waived on several of them, with the exception of the 5074 case.
So we're just to be called, but this is
Here is the problem
19
we
CR
have.
2197.
5074 case. Trial is now set May 19th. I should speedy on. Speedy's been waived on all these. So I show a speedy trial date on the May 19th case of October 13th. So the problem that I was about ready to address is not a problem. With that, I think I can declare a mistrial now on the May 19th trial date. As everybody knows, but for the record, the Chief Justice has suspended jury calls at this moment through June 1st, 2020. Just so everybody is aware, that may well get extended, though I don't have confirmation on that yet.
Can I log in on a PC to watch?
We would not
Is that what you guys are doing, is watching it?
For the May 19th trial date, accordingly, the court is empowered.
I'm going to have to hang up this call and try again, so let's try it.
At this time, which it
It's
now
been 16 minutes.
do,
We'll get back in.
and our new
I can do a video call. I didn't realize that there was a video option available, but let's try it. Stop. That's not the call I want to do. So I want to do a video call. What do I do? I don't know how to do that. See? Okay, so let's do this here. We're going to go 720-650-7664. And again, we're going to do that. Try. We're going to try to do that as a video call. But I'm not trying to miss Eric, so. I don't think that's going to work. There's one other option that I might try. WebEx. See if we can get in that way. In the meantime, let's call that number. Get back in. I'm going to join a call.
Welcome to WebEx. Enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound.
Hold on. I'm going to actually hang up that call since this seems to be loading. Join a meeting. 925-856-632. See if that works. It is. Holy shit. Hi all. So I think we might be able to actually get a video conference going on in here. Holy Toledo.
problem is we've now set a trial date beyond the 3-month period. 3 months from May 19th would be August 19th. So I think what the statute suggests is because it's no more than 3 months for each missed trial, we would add a 3-month period of time to the October 13th date, making the new speedy trial date January 13th, 2020. Now, I hope that is 2021. Thank you, January 13th, 2021. I hope that is all academic and that we can get this case tried on August 25th. I will certainly do everything in my part to make that happen. But just in case, because of the mistrial, that is the new speedy trial date.
People are in agreement. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Alpern, your objection still.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Okay.
Judge, we can call.
Your Honor. Oh, sorry, Your Honor.
Mr. Bass's court date will be June 15th at 8:30. I'm not sure whether we'll be doing this by phone or okay. Okay, just make sure you're safe.
We'll talk,
Okay,
Mr.
we'll see you back there June 15th.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Judge, we can call Mr. Vallejo.
And just sorry, this is Catherine Hardigan. Mr. Brandt is in the Jefferson County Jail. I just got a call from the sheriff that he has another setting at 9:30.
We
for
do.
another inmate. So I just wanted to notify the court of that. I'm not sure. I provided the number to the court last week, but whenever the court can call it, I just want to let update the court on that.
You will be next,
Okay, thank you, Judge.
assuming we can get Mr. Brand on the line. Is he there?
And I can wait, Judge. Mr. Vallejo is, I just got notice, is refusing.
Oh, perfect. Okay. 1 second. We'll start 1 second and we'll get Mr. Brand.
Your Honor, this is Shannon O'Connor. While we're waiting for Mr. Brandt, we are ready on Miracle and Hopo as well, and it is a case where we have victims who are present on the line. I just wanted to let the court know.
Okay.
Yes, I'm on a video. We're looking for all the video.
You did one? Oh, I haven't got it.
You know what? I don't really think that we should be talking about liberty right now, or I'm going to say some really bad things. Because I'm angry.
All right. All right, 1 second.
Hello?
Hello, Ms. Brandt?
Yes, it's Mr. Brandt.
Okay, I'm going to call your case right now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, it's 19 CR 2197, People versus Eric Brandt.
Good morning, Your Honor. Lauren Mitchell and Shannon Hurley for the people.
Good morning, Judge Catherine Hardigan on behalf of Mr. Brandt, who appears at the Jefferson County Jail over the phone.
And for the record,
Brandt.
this is Mr. Brandt. Yes.
Perfect. And Mr. Brandt, can you hear us okay?
I can hear fairly okay. I am hard of hearing, and I'll speak up if I can't hear.
All right, let us know. This is important. We are set for a pretrial preliminary hearing today. I do understand there's a plea agreement in this case. Ms. Hardigan, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. And I did, there's a little bit of difficulty getting it on time. I emailed it to your clerk this morning and I submitted it on ISIS this morning as well. But that is correct, Your Honor. We do have an agreement.
All right, and I do have the paperwork. We got by email. My
And I
understanding.
apologize, Your Honor. Ms. Hardigan did send that to me timely, and I told her that there was pages missing, and so she sent it again. I didn't get it until Saturday. And then in evaluating the paperwork, it turns out that actually she did send it to me. I did not turn the page over and look at page 2 on the reverse side. I wasn't used to that. And I just want to apologize to my lawyer and to everybody that the reason why that wasn't submitted that time was because I didn't turn the page over.
All right, Mr. Brand, I appreciate that. That double-sided stuff is a pain, isn't it?
It is.
Trying to save paper. I got to stop doing that.
All right. So now, Mr. Brandt, before we proceed, and Ms. Hart, this is for you as well. You do have the right to be present in person. Of course, if you want to exercise that right, unfortunately, that will not be possible for at least a month and probably more. So I need your consent, Mr. Brandt, to proceed by way of telephone conference today.
So, Your Honor, for the record, considering the current pandemic and the situations there, and considering the correctional facility is a lot like a cruise ship with a free boarding policy, I would actually like to minimize any transfers in any of my cases wherever practical, because the instant I step foot out of this facility, I will be in quarantine for 2 weeks, which is essentially solitary confinement without a disciplinary reason. So I would like to maximize my liberty even within this facility. And so I expressly consent to this hearing being done by telephone without my physical presence. And it would be my desire on the other matters that my physical presence be waived and by telephone wherever allowed by law.
Okay, perfect. And Ms. Hardigan, you also okay with proceeding? You're on video conference today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Brandt, my understanding of the plea disposition is that you wish to plead guilty to an added count 3 harassment, a class 3 misdemeanor. The agreement is for credit for time served, no further jail on this case, and it would essentially conclude this particular matter. Is that your understanding of the plea?
Your Honor, that's my understanding. There's also my understanding that this would be an alpha and that we'd be waiving taxes, which is not what I had read in enumerated item number 4 of the plea, so that's why I made the note there.
Correct, and I do see that, and I'm comfortable accepting it as an offered plea.
Thank you, Your Honor. That added count is 18-9-111 sub 1 sub B ob C gesture. Is that correct?
Correct. Class 3 misdemeanor.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, as to that charge, Mr. Brandt, how do you plead guilty or not?
As to that charge, Your Honor, I will plead guilty.
Okay. Now, I need to do some further advisement here. I suspect you're well aware of all of this, but do you understand that by pleading guilty today, you're giving up the right to a speedy and public jury trial?
Yes.
And you understand if you wanted to go to trial, Ms. Hardigan and Mr. Griffin would stay on the case. They'd represent you all the way through trial if that's what you wanted to do. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you could not afford counsel, we would appoint counsel to represent you at no charge, and that person would represent you all the way through trial if that's what you wanted to do. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
At trial, you could cross-examine and confront the district attorney's witnesses. You could testify if you wanted to, but you would not be required to do so, and you could also call witnesses on your behalf. Do you understand you're giving up all of those rights today?
Your Honor, I do.
In addition to your trial rights, Mr. Brandt, do you understand you're also giving up your rights to any appeal of this matter today?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, Mr. Brandt, this is a credit for time served plea, and I will accept that. But just so you understand, a Class 3 misdemeanor can carry a sentence of anywhere from 0 to up to 6 months in the Denver County Jail. along with a fine of between $50 and $750. Do you understand that?
I do, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Brand, I believe there might have been another document called the elements document. Ms. Hartigan, did you go over the elements of the harassment charge with Mr. Brand?
Your Honor, I didn't actually see that document, and that may have been, I know I sent Mr. Brandt the added count, and we went over that together. So I did review that with him, which does include those elements. And I believe Mr. Brandt has that, and correct me if I'm wrong on that, Mr. Brandt, but I believe you did see that.
So to augment the record on that, Your Honor, I don't think there's very many people in the state that are more familiar with the essential elements of 18-9-111 subsection B than myself. So I don't recall that my lawyer and I expressly went over the elements of that section, but considering that I have litigated that question, I don't know how many times, at least dozens, and considering that it's the subject of numerous civil litigations, I would purport to the court that I'm very familiar with the elements of that charge.
Perfect. That is what I needed, Mr. Brandt. I appreciate that. Now, Mr. Brandt, the potential penalty that this Class 3 misdemeanor carries, but also understanding that I am accepting the sentencing stipulation here, do you still want to go forward with the plea agreement today?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Other than the plea agreement itself, has anybody made any promise to you in exchange for your guilty plea today?
Other than the document that I signed with the two enumerated amendments, no.
Oh, perfect. Is anybody forcing you to do this?
I'm not being forced to do it. I'm disappointed that I'm doing it, which is, of course, the nature of an Alford plea. I think that the city gets to win here because they get to mitigate potential civil liability, which is truly what this prosecution was about. And I get to mitigate my continuing injuries because this case, the mere existence of this case is causing me substantial hardship in numerous other areas of my life. And although I believe that the case is 100% winnable, particularly if you watch the video that was taken by the security camera down the street, it's very obvious what this case was about. It's disappointing to me that there was an email between the city prosecution's office, the attorney's office, the Denver police, the mayor's office, and several businesses associated with the Downtown Denver Business Partnership just days before this incident, where they delineated their expressly designed scheme to take Eric Brandt and Brian Loma out of action. And then the literal slew of arrests that came out of that. This court will become aware of those emails as part of the other case. Everything from the prosecutor sitting inside the restaurant while they sent somebody out to dump scalding hot water on me and then arresting me. I know the court had a lot of arrests come through. It certainly paints me out to be very heinous, but I think when you actually look at the details, it's very obvious that they intended to get rid of me, and I will purport to the court that they have succeeded. So irrespective of any punishment or any sentence, I will tell you that my plan is to terminate my criminal and civil litigations to the best of my ability, and then my plan is actually to keep political silence in another country.
All right.
I have been silenced. You guys win.
All right, Mr. Brandt. And I forgot to ask you this at the beginning. I need to ask you this now. Are you thinking clearly today?
To the best of my knowledge, I am.
You under the influence of anything today?
No, sir.
Okay. And do you suffer from any physical or emotional condition that affects your ability to think clearly today?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brandt.
Yes, he does.
The court will
He's
accept
suffering from jailing.
the plea and finds that it is made in a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary fashion. That's based on the advisement I just went through and also the paperwork, which contains your signature and interlineations along with your attorney's signature. There's a waiver of a factual basis in the document, and it is an Alford plea. We can go to immediate sentencing on this. Ms. Mitchell?
Thank you, Your Honor. I really don't have much to add. I would note that it's the people's position that if this case were to have proceeded to trial, this would have been the likely outcome, an M3 harassment conviction. I'll also note that for the purposes of VRA, the victim is okay with this plea and wishes to finish this matter.
All right. Mrs. Hartigan.
Thank you, Judge. I think my client has filled the court in as to why he took this plea agreement. I will note my calculations is that there's 53 days credit for time served, so I would request the court accept that. And thank you for allowing us to do this over the phone today. And that's further on behalf of Mr. Brandt.
All right. And Ms. Hartigan, I missed the number. 63, did you say?
5-3.
5-3. 5-3. Okay, very good.
It's probably clean the camera lenses.
Anything else you want to say before I impose a sentence?
Just that if this case were to go to trial, I think the likely outcome would be acquittal. And also, the time served days, I don't dispute them. I didn't calculate them myself. It's the court that I am on the special programs unit for several months, where I have had exactly 0 disciplinary write-ups whatsoever. And that in the Jefferson County system, that would have been worth an additional 12 days that would be 12 days per month, I should say. So that would be effectively, I would have served approximately 3 months worth of time.
All right, Mr. Brandt. Sentence is a credit for time served sentence. The minimus will reflect 53 days in the sentence and 53 days credit for time served. Accordingly, the sentence is discharged, and that resolves this case. Ms. Brandt, I think we have one more. I know we have one more case pending here in this court, so we will see.
And is it correct that I think that is that on the 16th that I'm there again?
I was trying to look that up this morning, Mr. Brandt, and I wasn't able to do that.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I'm not editing my description right now.
Or maybe
while you're looking that up, Your Honor, I know that that's Ms. McKenzie's case, but I would just like the court to understand that my desire, again, would be to appear by telephone if that's permissible.
Okay, so depending on the date, Mr. Brandt, we may well be still operating remotely, in which case you would definitely be appearing by phone. May 15th is our date.
May 15th, okay.
So that's undoubtedly going to be by phone, so we'll make that happen.
Okay, and I would like to thank the court again for returning those bonds. The checks, as my understanding, are being written to return people's money. Some people have already received them. I'm in here. I don't know a lot about that, but really greatly appreciate you doing that.
All right, Mr. Brandt. All right. Thanks, everybody. Mr. Brandt, we'll see you May 15th, I guess.
Thank you. Ms. Hartigan, would you and Ms. McKenzie please schedule a phone call with me?
Yes, Mr. Brandt.
Thank you. And thank you, Lauren Mitchell, Ms. Mitchell. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care, Mr. Brandt.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
Judge.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
So we're probably going to watch a whole bunch of people disappear from this
Right. Mr. Ampopo
here.
next?
You're going to get all these drop-offs here, people leaving.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
All right.
No, that just means
hold on 1 second.
that he...
Okay, perfect. All right.
See all of us dropping out from listening to this phone call.
Versus Ampopo.
This motherfucker. I gotta turn in the paper.
Sorry, Your Honor. Shannon O'Connor for the people. Also, I believe that Miss Lakeisha Felton and Alex Felton are also present online.
And Taylor Kutcher with the Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Ampopo. I believe he is on the line as well.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to mute the court that's going on, folks. And no, you guys are way off, okay? I want just to make sure that you understand that what happened there. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and lovers. Welcome to the Den of Insanity, where for the last hour, I'm not showing these masks, but I will be getting back to it because we're not allowed to be in the courtroom. If you're just joining us, we just finished a plea and sentencing. which was originally an arraignment. We had no idea. The people here, myself, I had no idea that that was about to happen. I'm going to switch screens again, though. I want you to see that what Eric did was he's playing his hand. He's parlaying his cases. And so that case that we just had is off the camera now. We can't find it anymore here. We'll be looking at that here shortly. The case that he had was a harassment, basically. I think he flipped somebody off and he got arrested for it. Okay, but that case was holding up some other cases, and the case that they were talking about at the very end there is this one right here. This is an arraignment, 19 CR 9696 in courtroom 4G. Okay, he's got trials that are supposed to happen next week, but since there's no juries, we're probably not going to be seeing those jury trials happen. There's motion hearings in Elbert County, we're looking at a variety of cases on this docket. There's 15 of 15. So we've got Jefferson County cases all the way out until July with a jury trial on these 3 dates. We've got Arapahoe County pretrial conference and a hearing and advisement in Arapahoe County. This one, I believe, is the Elbert, or the where he took his shirt off and went into the courtroom, through the security checkpoint with Liberty Freak to and I was just like, hold my stuff so I can go talk to somebody to get figure out some rules on pot. That was a fun day. Actually, we gave away a lot of cannabis to people. But what he did, and I'm going to go to the Denver courtroom docket real quick. I want you guys to know a couple of things. First of all, if you had wanted to know about that court case today and you had gone to the Denver court's website, you would have never found it. Okay? The Denver court docket, to figure out what the dockets are, 5G is not available, 4G, I mean, in this list of dockets. So we would have never seen that. That was a secret court hearing today. All the court cases in that courtroom were not publicly knowledgeable. So if you didn't know about the case, you couldn't search for it online. And he did plead guilty. He pled guilty to that case because, as you're going to see in a moment, we are search. We're going to look for Eric's cases here, and you're going to see that Eric has a ton of cases, okay? And so what he just did was he pled out of this one. He got a misdemeanor charge for time served, and that case was bothering other things. So he took the type of plea where he, Eric Brandt, 11/19/1971, AKMC 8 is the temporary code there. So Mike Stevens, I'm glad to know that he has protected your rights, and it absolutely was some hidden court bullshit, right? So we're gonna have to figure out who to contact about that, because this website's not brand new, right? And he is knowledgeable about what he was doing, okay? So wow, let's go back to the searches. That's an old search. Search by name. That's why we went to the wrong box, right? You gotta search by date or court case or whatever. We'll get there in a second. So he was doing that very intentionally, very knowingly what he did. And as you can see, we still have court going on in the background. And there's still people, not a whole lot, not as many. A lot of you dumped out of the system. And these people, they need to clean their flipping screens, right? That judge screen is so horrible. But it's also one of the reasons why back to search. Yeah. Why he did this, okay? Why he did this is very specific and very intentional, and that the docket that he's facing is so extensive that he had to start clearing cases out. He had to take pleas for time served, right? So he's been in jail, and they're gonna just basically say, okay, it's like he said, it's a win for the prosecution, but it's also a win for Eric. And the reason that it's a win is that it's off the docket. It's not a pending case that is stitching out there for everybody to hold over his head. And also because he's got all these cases, right? And so these cases, these 19 GS cases, are pending on things like his constitutional rights being violated, and the idea that they silenced Eric Brandt, right? So they've been vacating court dates for a little bit here, and this case, these sheriff's special instructions: disorderly conduct, unreasonable noise. Where did that happen? Oh, that's where he yelled. They filed 8-7. He's probably yelling at a cop or something. I don't know. We don't really know. 8-7-19 at 7 p.m. Right? At night. At 7 o'clock at night, he was making unreasonable noise. He was yelling at a cop. He was, out protesting or doing something, right? And they nailed him for it. Unreasonable noise from his mouth. Okay? So all of these dates, going back to the case list here, all of these dates have to start getting filtered out. And we have cases in multiple counties: Elbert, Jefferson, Denver, Adams, Arapahoe, that need to be handled. Okay? And then we have all of these Denver cases. And so PD, the question is how long is it going to take them to deny his speedy trial rights and to actually have jury trials? Because here's the key. A jury must hear all of these standing cases that he's not going to plead to. A jury must decide if using your voice outside a business that kicks homeless people out after they buy food without giving them a chance to eat it deserves a protest. And is that protest on a public sidewalk legal? And if the owner of the business comes out and dumps hot water on you, or the prosecution sits inside the restaurant while you're protesting, giving police officers instructions. Let me make sure I'm clear about this. The Denver District Attorney's Office, the CAO, the DAO, they're the people who prosecute cases. They were inside the corner bakery. My name is Brian Loma. And Eric Brandt and I were named specifically as people that they were going to attempt to get area restrictions as soon as they could come up with some criminal charges that they could get to stick, right? Because when they arrested me for saying, fuck the police, 12 police officers came at Karen Sidaro to issue her a trespass warning and take her to jail. 12 for one girl. Because 2 weeks before that, they tried to trespass a 75, 78-year-old man, David Anderson, who was who had an oxygen tank with him, and had left the sunshine to the shade. And Karen was protecting him, right? Helping him, making sure he was healthy, okay, being his caretaker, right? So the reason that Eric has all of these 19 GS cases and these 18 cases is because they wanted to trespass an old man. Oh, let's see if we can find it. I'm going to slip out of the judge's courtroom. I don't need to be there anymore. YouTube. And let's see if we can find the Corner Bakery videos. Because what you need to understand is that this is what this is all about. This is Eric Brandt, free speech, Corner Bakery. Let's see if we can find that first. Because if David's in one of these, then look, here's our minute of fame that they gave us. Let's hear it. You might as well see some of this stuff. You guys are here. I'm not watching your damn commercials though. One blank.
A months-long protest against
Months,
the Corner
actually
Bakery
18
Cafe
months.
on the 16th Street Mall has come to an end. Occupy Denver claimed the restaurant supported Denver's urban camping ban. Well, the owner says those claims have never been true, and he just wants to get back to business. Our Joel Hillen shares today's agreement and a warning
these poor
from
people.
Occupy protesters.
Every Sunday morning for nearly a year,
That was Eric.
Occupy Denver has been protesting in front of the Corner Bakery Cafe on the 16th Street Mall.
This is how you turn a nice quiet protest into a loud belligerent protest, you dumb, stupid.
Cell phone video shows in the last few weeks, the protests have been in crescendo.
Someone should probably slit your throat, you know that? Because you don't deserve to live.
This looks uncomfortable, and yeah, maybe it's a show, and maybe people don't like the yelling, but honestly, civil rights in the 60s, was that not a disturbance?
It was a long 10 months.
Jamie Cutter, who owns
Poor
this
Jamie.
Corner
It's
Bakery
much longer than 10
Cafe,
months.
has now authored and signed a letter stating he does not support Denver's urban camping ban.
We're not politically involved here, so we
But you
wanted to get
paid
back and
money
take care of our
to the
customers.
Downtown Denver Partnership.
Occupy Denver says they will now move down the street to Earl's.
They actually identified themselves to us by harassing us several times while we were out here, so they are our current candidate. We will be delivering a letter to them today, requesting a letter coming out against the urban camping ban, or we will conduct our boycott as we have before.
Promising continued turmoil on the mall.
How dare you come out here and use things like that?
In Denver, Joel Hillen, covering Colorado First.
The owner of this Corner Bakery Cafe tells us he will continue to support Denver's homeless, and he's donated 20% of today's proceeds to the homeless nonprofit We Don't Waste.
So I gotta laugh at that because his donation is a tax deduction. It's a write-off, right? So he says, "Ooh, I gave to We Don't Waste the food that people won't buy from my business because these boycotts won't let people in the building." Right? So it's a biased news report, Keith Anderson. But I've got to show you these things, right? Why wasn't the assault charges put on Jamie? We obviously know. Because in this video, you can see, let me see if I can find the clip, because it's really a short clip. And there. So here is a photograph from inside the building. And what you have, this is actually really important, guys. I'm gonna tell you this is the protest on the 16th Street Mall outside the Corner Bakery Cafe comes to an end. And it is my absolute belief that this photograph right here, these people here, include the city attorney's office or the district attorney's office. Okay, they're not going to release Eric. He's got months, if not more than a year, that he's going to be in the jail because these court dates are going to take, right? Trials. These all are going to, the majority of these cases are going to demand trials. Trials by a jury where they get the information from the fully informed jury association prior to it. See FIJA.org. This is the website. This is the website right here that you're gonna find the Fully Informed Jury Association. Okay, and the reason that Eric is playing these things out intentionally, time served on this gets that over with. makes the time that he's been in jail for the last couple of months worthwhile. It credits for something. Now he gets to start his clocks all over, and for the next case that he's waiting for a jury trial on. Okay. The Fully Informed Jury Association educate jurors on their rights. True or false? Let's just as a juror, you can save a life with just 2 words: not guilty. Learn how. And so we want people to know about the Fully Informed Jury Association. We want you to know that Eric is in case law. He actually established case law in the state of Colorado through a Supreme Court hearing, and he proved that the city was spending millions and millions of dollars wastefully because he was handing out flyers outside. So what FIJA does is they are empowering jurors to uphold individual rights and liberty by instilling them in a rich understanding of their protective role, right? Instilling in them a rich understanding of their protective role, including jurors' rights to refuse to enforce unjust laws. The programs that they have includes, thank you very much, handing out flyers outside of courtrooms and telling people that when you come on jury, it's an honorable position, right? And so Eric did this. I've done this with Eric as well. And he won in the Supreme Court to basically say that you can stand outside the courtrooms and hand these to jurors on their way into buildings. And if you know that somebody is a prospective juror, you definitely have the right to hand this information to them. And so that's a community campaign, okay? And Denver is a community where we campaign at this. So we have to have court dates that we can physically attend and that we can stand outside the building and say, oh, you look like a prospective juror, you look like a prospective defendant, right? And we can tell who the workers and the attorneys are. If they're a worker, if they're an attorney, we try not to hand that info out to them, but we broadcast from the sidewalk publicly, giving everybody protected information about the stuff the judges and the prosecution don't want people to have. So at this point, the timely function is to hold Eric in Jefferson County Detention Facility as a pretrial detainee in the Veterans Pod, where he receives services, education, has access to legal information, has a tablet to communicate with his lawyers, has the ability to do his legal work, and that's what he said in the video, right, in his court date. Leave me in here, do all my cases by video, don't drag me out of this building, right? Because I'm not going to go into solitary confinement for things that are non-disciplinary, basically. So when is Eric going to be out? When these trials are done, right? But and when the cases are won, right? Remembering that he's got a 5-month sentence that he has to serve, and I'm not sure why judges are wearing diapers. He has to go through those cases. Were his words threats? Did he commit a crime? Will he be found innocent or guilty? And then serve that time, if there's time to be served or be freed and released, right? Basically, the case that he pled guilty to today is a case where the city wanted to protect itself against civil liability. That's the only reason for that prosecution. They arrested him, they had to trump up a charge, then they had to hold those charges through. So the trial is in storage with other materials and goods and properties. Everything's being taken care of. If you're just joining us, again, remember that Eric Brandt did just take a plea deal in a Denver case via phone, and we were able to get into the hearing via WebEx. It wasn't a video that he was on; it was phone only. And maybe they can improve that. But Eric took a plea deal today. There are continuing cases, and we're gonna okay. The problem is that we have to figure out how to ensure that that stuff is public and that the information is available, so that you can just go to the Denver courts, find out the docket that day, and watch the docket because it's been held online. Today's courtroom was a secret hearings, right? If you didn't physically show up and get the information, it wasn't available online. It was not ADA compliant. The plea deal was time served. So it was basically, you've been in jail, we're just taking a plea deal. And also, he doesn't admit guilt, okay? This is the kind of plea deal. Let's see if I can find that in my history. I'll show it to you. It's called an Alford plea. And basically, in an Alford plea, you say, I'm going to take a guilty plea in a criminal court where the defendant in a criminal case does not admit to the criminal act and asserts innocence. And that means that you say, I'm taking the guilty plea. You've held me in. I want out of jail, basically. It might have found guilty. It might not have. But basically, the Alfred plea allows him to get the case off the docket. He's been in jail. None of the time served. So Alfred was faced with the possibility of capital punishment. It was a death penalty case, it looks like, in North Carolina. And the jury did not recommend a life sentence. So that's where that comes out of. I'm not sure that it actually alleviates the city's liability charge because he took the guilty plea. So that will not be that specific case. But here's the deal. It doesn't take away somebody's civil liabilities for fear of doing the same thing that he's taking a guilty plea on. So because there's not a probability, nobody else has been found guilty of it or whatever. If you say, I want to file in fear of, that might be an option. But that was the Alfred plea that he took today. And basically, like, these are loopholes that you got to pay attention to, right? So we're going to have court again with Eric, not that long down the road. It says that in this lineup, 6-5 is his next date, but 5/14, 5/16 is the next time we're going to be live with Eric in Denver County. We're going to be about reaching Elbert County today. Actually, I'm going to do that with you now before we go, because we want to know what Eric's cases are going to be. So we'll do the docket search. We're going to call them up real quick. And then I'm going to go back to making masks, everybody, because the masks need to be made. And the inmates and the nurses and everybody else needs it. So we'll make this call real quick. Appreciate you being here. Let's find out about the Elbert County court date so that we can plan on participating 5/7/20 in a group setting together and doing this all over again. Does that sound fair to you? Tucson, Lori, how you doing, hon? And I should say hi to everybody that's in here. Chris Marcus, Stephanie London.
Hello, you have reached the Elbert County Combined Courts. As a result of the current Supreme Court Chief Justice Coates' order suspending court operations through April 3rd, 2020, Except for essential court functions, to reduce the spread of the COVID-19 virus, effective immediately, the courts and probation of the 18th Judicial District will be operating with reduced staff. Information regarding status and including services available via phone will be posted on our website, www.courts.state.co.us. If you find that your case has already been rescheduled, look online first at https://www.courts.state.co.us/docket/scheduled. Please start by contacting your attorney if you have one. Please allow up to 2 to 3 days for court staff to reschedule your hearing before contacting the court. The courts are actively working on rescheduling court dates. Please note, we are receiving a high volume of calls. If you have to call, please have your case number available before you make the
Janet,
call.
everybody.
Thank you, and have a good day.
We're finding out about the Elbert case right now.
Over from court, this is Josh.
Hi, Josh. How you doing this morning?
Good. How can I help you?
I am looking at a docket date of 5/7/20 at 10 a.m. on a case number 18M132, and I want to participate in that hearing. Are you guys doing open court telephonically?
Yes, via telephone. Name?
My name is Brian. I'm not the defendant, but I want to participate in the court hearing. Do you have like a WebEx or a video conferencing system where the public can call in and observe court?
Let me get that for you. Can you hold on for a moment?
Absolutely.
Okay, one.
So, just to recap, today Eric took an Elbert plea in Denver for regards to it says a class 3 misdemeanor.
You there?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, let me give you the number. Let me know when you're ready.
I am.
Sir?
I am ready.
Okay. You'll call 720-650-7664. And then the meeting number is 490-901-692.
And so, is that a WebEx?
It's just the number I got for you to call. I'm not sure if it's WebEx or not.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that if I make a phone call, I've learned that it's often just the audio, and I want to be able to see what's going on in the courtroom as well. So I'm trying to figure out who the carrier is.
Let me check on that for you.
I appreciate you. Yes, thank you very much.
You bet. One moment.
So again, Eric took a plea this morning, and yes, that phone number for the Elbert County hearing, if you want to dial in and listen on 5/7 in 3 days at 10 a.m., is 720-650-7664. Meeting number 490-901-692. And that is for Elbert County. This is the one that we had today, and that's the one that he'll call on again the next time we're in Denver.
Sorry, sir. Hello?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, so apparently what I'm told is if you just download the WebEx app and enter the phone and meeting number, you should be able to view it.
Very good. It is WebEx. And yes. It is the Elbert County practice that you're doing these by video. So if an inmate is at a facility, or if a accused, a defendant, is at home, they would either call in from that facility or from their home to do their thing because the courtroom is closed. Is that correct?
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay. Well, it was Jeremy?
Josh.
Josh, I'm sorry, Josh. I really appreciate you today. Thank you for your help, and you have a wonderful day.
You as well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I know. So there you have it, folks. There is something, though, that we need to tend to, and we need to deal with that. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that while we're online, because I am not accepting of this activity today. So we're going to go to the by county box here, and we're going to go ahead and pick up the Denver line. And we need to call, find out what the fuck is going on. Because I want to know for ADA access how to get into the Denver court system and to make sure that ADA compliances are occurring. Thanks, Defend. What? Hey, Defend. I don't care. I don't know what's Defend saying.
Thank you for calling Denver District Court. Please be aware that Denver has separate courts for juvenile, probate, and county court cases. Denver District Court handles adult felony criminal matters, family matters such as divorce and custody, and civil matters. You can also find information about Denver District Court and other courts in Denver online at courts.state.co.us.
Okay, I'll call him back.
For more information about Denver District Court, press 1. For jury information or questions about a jury summons,
I'll
press
ask
2.
him. I didn't see it, but I will get
other
there.
courts in Denver and all other matters, press 3. Thank you for calling Denver District Court. Please be aware that Denver has separate courts for juvenile, probate, and county court cases. Denver District Court handles adult felony criminal matters, family matters such as divorce and custody, and civil matters. You can also find information about Denver District Court and other courts in Denver online at courts.state.co.us.
Yes, we know this. I want a human being.
For more information about Denver District Court, press 1. For jury information, for office hours and locations, press 1. For criminal matters, press 2. For family matters, such as divorce or custody, press 3. For civil matters, press 4. For information about obtaining copies of Denver District Court records, press 5. For the Self-Help Resource Center, press 6 or dial 303-606-2442. To return to the main menu, press pound. For office hours and locations, press 1.
I did not recognize that as a valid entry.
For office hours and locations, press 1. For criminal matters, press 2. For family matters, such as divorce or custody, press 3.
I did not recognize that as a valid entry.
For office, Denver District Court has...
I did not recognize that as a I did not recognize
Oh, you people piss me off.
Denver District Court has 2 separate locations. Thank you for calling Denver District. For questions about a jury summons or jury information, please hang up and dial.
I did not recognize that as a valid entry.
Right.
For questions
Going
about a jury
circular
summons
here.
or jury information, please hang up and dial 720-337-0600.
See if we can find.
To return to the main menu, press pound.
Okay, so this is
For
just a
questions about a
circle
jury
of
summons
death.
or jury information,
I can't handle
please hang up and dial 720.
So we're gonna just try a new number because I can't handle this. We're getting to the anxious state, right? Yes, I'm calling, trying to figure out how to get ADA access on the WebEx.
Okay.
So today we were in a courtroom hearing, and it wasn't. It didn't have transcription on it.
Okay. So let's see. Do you know your case number?
No.
Okay. What's your last name?
Well, the case is for Eric Brandt, and there's supposed to be another one coming up here in a week or so. and there are deaf people trying to listen to the phone call.
Okay. See here. I'm not sure how that really works, to be honest. Let me try 1 second here. So is he also trying to report for court today?
Eric?
Yeah.
Already occurred.
Virtually.
It already occurred, but I've got a problem that I've got like several problems, and I'm sorry. My name's Brian. I didn't catch your name.
My name's Christian.
Christian. So to start with, courtroom 4G is not showing up on the dockets on the website for the city of Denver, and on the state website, there's no way to get the WebEx information for these courtrooms. So I'm really I'm concerned that we're not ADA compliant. We're not providing while we're not able to go to the courtrooms. I've been denied access to the internal part of the courtroom building for hearings, my own and other people's, over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I need to know what the plan is, because there's court happening this week and it's not listed on the website.
Okay. So it looks like I did find a case for May 15th is the next court date coming up.
Yes, that sounds right.
19 CR 9696. So the plan is we've been having people call this phone number, and then they will dial a 9-digit access code and then pound twice. Now I can give you that information if you don't have it.
So I actually picked that up today, and what was lacking in that information is that you need to also tell people that they could go to a website to visually watch it, right? And if they can't hear the audio to understand because they're deaf, then it should definitely be available to go to the visual WebEx. And I want to make sure that that visual WebEx has closed captioning, because today it did not.
Okay, that's definitely out of my range because I don't work in the courtroom. So what I can do is transfer to 4G and see if you can get in touch with someone up there about those concerns, okay? Do you have their phone number as well?
No, let's do that quickly.
Okay, sure. So 4G's phone number is 720-337-0651. And I can go ahead and try transferring to 4G and see if we can get in touch with someone about those concerns.
That I would appreciate.
Sure, yeah. I mean, the best thing I can do is give out the number and access code, and you have all that information?
Yeah, that you're talking about the 720-650-7664.
Yep.
And the 925-856-632.
Pound, yep.
And so, that access, that enter code is enter the code in, and it'll allow you to watch. And so we need to make sure that that's ADA compliant.
Okay, let me get you to 4G and see if you can touch with someone up there, okay?
Thank you.
1 second. Yep.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 720-835-9284 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian. My phone number where that closed captioning occurs. I want to make sure that the closed captioning for courtrooms is consistent and persistent as long as people are not able to attend. And I also need to have the information specifically demand regarding where in the internet is the information about these court dates, court hearings, WebEx conferencing available. Today's courtroom in 4 and 5G is not listed on the Denver court's websites. The access is not listed on the Colorado Judicial Branch, and we are demanding that information be made public. So again, my name is Brian, and my phone number, which you have, is how you reach me best. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to go back to this guy here in Elbert, and then I've got stuff to do, people. I love you all, but the masks have to be made because I got to pay the Hydra next month. That Hydra, of course, being the landlord. So let's call Elbert back real quick and make sure that that 5-7 meeting is...
Hello, you have reached the Elbert County Combined Court. As a result of the Colorado Supreme Court Chief Justice Coates' order suspending court operations through April 3rd, 2020, except for essential court functions to reduce the spread of the COVID-19 virus.
This is a mandated
the court
fucking audio.
of the 18th Judicial District will be operating with reduced staff. Information regarding our operating status and including services available via phone will be posted
Sorry, folks,
on
this
our
is a
website,
mandatory hold.
www.court.state.co.us. If you find that your case has already been rescheduled, look online first at
make you listen to this every time you...
www.court.state.co.us/docket/. Court hearings set between March 16th and April 3rd are being rescheduled. Please start by contacting your attorney if you have one. Please allow up to 2 to 3 days for court staff to reschedule your hearing before contacting the court. The courts are actively working on rescheduling court dates. Please note, we are receiving a high volume of calls. If you have to call, please have your case number available before you make the call. Thank you, and have a good day.
So that is the mandatory message.
I work combined court. This is Josh.
Hey, Josh, Brian calling back. How's it going?
Good.
I really concerned. We were in a courtroom this morning in Denver on that WebEx and didn't realize deaf people trying to follow along. And so I need to make sure that it's ADA compliant so that the courtroom access for those who are hearing impaired, basically I think what you need to do is turn your WebEx into closed caption.
Let me put you on brief hold. Let me have you talk to our clerk on that.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, 1 moment.
Sorry, folks, we're on hold right now, trying to figure out if you're joining us. Alan Moody. Oh no, that's not who it is it? Yeah, it is. Our friend Defend. Sorry if I said that out loud. Has a can't hear. So my WebExes need to have closed captioning on them, right? There we go. We know that they ignore this. That's right. Thank you very much, Mr. Defend. and know that we are working to assist you in this matter right now. No games in this, no shame in this game, folks. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done right. I'm going to get it done well. I put a new needle in my sewing machine. Got a new thread hookup. Always remember to have a small scrap piece of plastic of cloth with you. Yeah. So that as you sew, get that first one hooked in there and make sure that it's running right. I want to get these masks into the Jefferson Sheriff's nurse's hands today, hopefully. And tend to some other business today. That's better. Gotta keep that foot working. If you haven't seen me make a mask before, this is this. We are on hold if you're leaving, I understand. But we are waiting for an answer from Elbert County as to how they're going to meet the needs of the mentally discharged. Eric Brandt did take a plea today. And I've got sewing to do. So we want to make sure that all the things get tended to, that those in need are met, their concerns, their crises. And today, for me, that means that I want to make sure that somebody who lives in a jail cell in a cage for using their mouth gets the proper constitutional access, and that the public has the rights. Which a transcriptionist. Thanks, Toby Mac. That's wonderful, right? That's how we're going to get this done. And
Brian?
Yes.
So it's my understanding that that would have to be requested, so they don't automatically do it, but I can't show you on the website where to go to request that.
So I'm on the phone with you.
Okay.
And I am requesting that Elbert County comply with that. I think that should be ADA accessibility is not a part-time thing, right? They don't put a ramp out to get a person in a wheelchair into the building when the wheelchair shows up. It's supposed to be operating full-time. So it's my understanding through a brief cursory review of the WebEx channel that they provide transcriptionists. And so as the courts are required to comply with federal regulations for ADA access at all times, I don't understand why it would be a part-time situation. However,
yeah, I'm not sure, but I can give you the contact information for an ADA coordinator.
you know, if you want to conference me over there, where you reach a human being in that office, that'd be wonderful. But I'm guessing that a lot of people aren't available. What I'm concerned about is that
50% staffing right now.
Right. So what I'm concerned about is that I want to make sure that we reach somebody, and I don't want you to give me somebody's cell phone number for their home or anything like that. So if you have the ability to conference us, where you put me on hold, connect with that person, and then connect those lines together, that would be good. I really though, like, I want to make sure, because you've gotten the information for the excuse me, for the 10:30 a.m. hearing on the 7th, right? So you have basically 72 hours, it feels like, to get that up and running, to make sure that we're accessible on the 7th, and that's for the entire courtroom for the entire day, right? And if Elbert County hearings are open to the public by calling in to that 720-650-7664 number for every day of court, then yeah, I would definitely love to talk to the to that person. And since our hearing,
the ability to conference, but let me get that contact information for you.
Okay, and I want to make sure that on that 7th, it's scheduled to be our hearing.
Let me check on that too.
I see it on the calendar screen. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. Hold, please.
Colorado Judicial Directive 0407 is the one that I'm talking about, by the way. Yep.
All right, her name is Charla.
Is that with an S or a C?
Number's 303 645 6773.
Is that with a S or a C?
CHARLA.
And can you transfer me?
I don't have the ability to transfer, no.
Okay. How do I leave an official record here at the clerk of courts to make sure that that request is in? Before I call the ADA coordinator, I want to make sure that the
You would have to fill out that paperwork online.
I'm sorry, I don't think you gave me a website to fill out paperwork, but is Colorado Directive give me a second, I gotta switch screens here. Because I have the judicial directive. It's I think it's 04-07. Colorado Judicial Directive 04-07. So that means that there's already a court order. And I don't think I need to make any paperwork then. But where do you want, while you put me on hold, let me go to this website and do some research. What is the website you're saying I should fill out a form?
www.courts.state.co.us. And if you go into the search box on the top right hand corner and just put in ADA, and then it'll be the
No. That's not a complete website. I'm on the court's website. I want you to give me the full and complete address. Not go to do a search and do ADA. If there's a direct website for a direct form, you should have that information directly. Because I've searched the state's websites.
After the website I just gave you, do a /. And then you'll put in administration /HR /ADA /info.cfm.
Okay, because when I hit that search thing, it takes me to this Google thing, and you've got a hunt and peck. So the page is courts.
So once you get there, it should show American with Disabilities Act.
So you said .cfm? Info.
CFM, yeah.
So that's a page not found. That's the exact information. that the website is giving me. So I'm going to take out the CFM and see what happens. And even if I go back into the ADA, man, there's
capitalize
just,
A on administration. Capitalize the H and R.
okay.
Capitalize ADA. And leave everything else lowercase and put the .cfm.
That's really weird because it should not require a capital or a small in the web browser to do that.
And then that very first tab, request for accommodations online form, you click on that and you just fill it out.
So,
and reference the case number, and then you can follow up with Charlotte.
Charla?
Correct.
Okay, but you're gonna put me on hold while to find out about and if I even have to do this.
All right, one moment.
So there's a manual copy, it looks like. Man, these things take all my life.
So any questions on ADA needs to go through Charlotte since she.
Fantastic, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Well, that's Josh from Elbert County. And this is me running a stitch line. Let's call Charlotte. Three 303-645-6773. Call.
Court administration, this is Charlotte.
Holy cow, Charlotte, you are one of the 50% that are working, huh?
Oh, I think there are a few more than that.
Well, they said that only 50% in the offices, according to some things. So, listen, I'm really concerned. I want to make sure. I want to find out, Charlotte. What steps are you taking to make sure that ADA access, since we're not able to be in person, is available for all hearings?
What kind of ADA access do you need?
Well, I'm guessing that if I have a video hearing for court, that it should be closed captioned.
You need it to be closed captioned?
Yeah.
Okay. We have had zero requests for any ADA accommodations so far. So yours is the first.
So my question is, do you have to have a request for that accommodation to be met?
Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't know.
So you wouldn't know that if people can't physically be in a courtroom that closed captioning needs to be occurring?
No, not for an ADA accommodation. This is regarding an ADA accommodation closed captioning.
Yep. I guess I was just thinking that the courts would automatically close caption all court hearings since they're video conferenced.
No.
Okay. And that is a video, and you guys do have video for both, like the prosecution, the defense, and defendants, whether they're in their homes or in a jail cell?
It's going to depend because it's got to be a little more specific than that because it's going to depend on if we're calling into DOC's video conferencing or if we're providing a conferencing bridge or if it's happening via WebEx.
So there's just a little more to it than that. And this is all relatively new to us, so we're learning as we go.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, since you're the ADA coordinator, I guess I need to make sure that it would be my concern that it's not per courtroom case, but per courtroom for every day that court's in session. But I want to make a specific need stated that on the 7th, there's supposed to be up to 8 hours of hearing in motions. And I need to make sure that you guys have, and that's for multiple different cases. I'm looking at motions hearings here, that we have those as closed captioned on the 7th.
Okay, and what division is this? And I don't even know who's doing video conferencing.
Division A.
In Douglas County?
No, this is Elbert County.
Okay, Elbert. I don't know what they're doing out there, so I'm going to have to look into that.
Okay, and I guess and I think that looking into it means that whatever county you're ADAing, or whatever multiples of counties.
Well, sir, we haven't been handling all cases in every location.
Gotcha. I'm just saying wherever you are, right? That you're the ADA coordinator, and so whoever
over the whole district, depending on exactly what the accommodations are.
Well, I'm understanding through some research on WebEx that they offer closed captioning for any darn meeting that's being held.
I don't know that. Well, and I don't know. See, that's it. Some people are using WebEx and some people are using Polycom. And like I said, it depends on whether we're calling into DOC's video conferencing, or we're using WebEx, or we're using Polycom. So there are just different options.
Okay, well, I want to make sure that that for all of these court hearings, which are available by the public to attend, right? Because you can call in or dial in on your computer and watch, that these are ADA compliant, so that the communities aren't facing civil liabilities for failing to meet the needs of the public.
Okay. Can you put that in writing and email it to me?
I don't have your email, and I'm still making sure that we meet this by the 7th for this Elbert County. But I will.
I've got that written down, and I'm going to look into it and make sure that I can accommodate and have that ready to go. And if you give me your information, I'll be happy to contact you back and let you know.
So my name is Brian.
Brian, Brian?
Yep.
Okay, last name?
So, yeah, give me a call back. And what was your email?
Okay. It's Charla, CRLA, Branham, BRANHAM, at judicial.state.co.us.
And are you the ADA coordinator for the entire state of Colorado then, for the state judicial system?
No.
And what?
The 18th Judicial District.
And so you're in charge of the 18th Judicial District.
Mm-hmm.
And where does that fall under?
It's Arapahoe, Douglas, Elbert, and Lincoln counties.
Perfect. All right. Well, I appreciate it. And Charlotte, we'll get that to you in email form to make sure that as members of the public, we have access to whatever the system is, and that we get some information on where it's located, right? Because currently I can't find online on a computer search the Elbert County Court WebEx extensions, right? I had to physically dial in for that information, but I can find the address of the courthouse. So if I were to show up to the courthouse physically right now, they're not going to let me in the building, which means that I should be able to research physically.
And we're going to have that information. We're going to have that information up. We don't even have all of that yet. So we're going to have that up on our website this week on how to access the courtrooms via WebEx.
And that's going to be on the courts.state.co US.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, Charlotte, I really appreciate that. I mean, I think we've been doing this for about 8 weeks now, so we should be further along, but maybe it's been 7. I don't know.
No. We haven't been using WebEx all that long, actually, for all the divisions, and we're like at 50%, like we said, and we've only been handling emergency case type so far.
Emergency.
We're just kind of opening up.
Emergency
if you look on the court's website and you go to the 18th Judicial District, the information is there on what we have been handling.
Okay, yeah, one of the
emergency hearings only.
Okay, because I've been trying to figure out how to like actually research the courts and dockets and stuff, and it's been really difficult on that website to actually search what the cases are about. So I do see some announcements on the COVID and the closures and stuff, but I appreciate you making sure that we get this ADA compliancy up. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye now.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Look at that. That was polite, right? We got the work done. It took another hour of my life. All for 99 cents. No, I'm joking. She is trying to get off the phone, Raver, and I did drag it out. And thank you, Joe Black. For those of you who haven't seen what we're doing in the background, when you hear me not talking to people, and what I'm going to do when I get off the phone with all of you, is we're making these masks. These masks are going to nurses in jails. They're going to inmates in Denver County currently. We're working on other things. And Boss Mayor, thank you. You're one of the amazing people who has supported our efforts. I just got a pack of needles from Marita Gladson. Sally Smith provided this fabric that we're using and the threads to do that. If you would like to support efforts to make face masks for Denver inmates, those of us in the Colorado crew, if you want to pre-cut fabrics that you have sitting around your house, I'd love to know about that. But I want you, yes, Whitebeard, your masks are sitting in the post office box right now, waiting for transportation and delivery. There are 4 different colors, I believe, in yours. But this is one of the fabrics sent by Sally Smith to my house. And you can email me at cuttheplastic@gmail.com in order to find out more about supporting these efforts. You can hit me up on Venmo or Cash App as well. I have a Coinbase, but nobody plays with cryptocurrency, it appears. Anyway, the real news that we have today is that Eric Brandt pled in a Elbert plea. It was like a no contest, but he pled guilty, right? So he took a plea, got a case off the deal, and if you can email me, if you're talking hemp seed, hemp fabric, I have retted hemp sitting in the field waiting to be bought and processed by a hemp processor. I have all of these things available to me. We just need to connect. The best way to connect with me is by email. But I do want to make a big shout out to Marita Gladson, to Sally Smith, to Carolina Kate, I believe it was, who's sending me Elastic, to Sally Smith, and he did not plead to child abuse. He pled to a level 3 without as a time served. Yes, I don't believe that there was any charge of child abuse ever for Eric. It was about flipping the bird. He flipped flipped somebody off, I believe, and he got charged with it. And so I don't know how that works out. I haven't quite figured it out. I don't even know the details on the exact case, but I know they took a plea. We got video. Be careful, look like sandwiches. No, I did not, Chris Marcus. These are some of the Robert Chase. See, these are the kinds of conversations we could have instead of just talking about vitamin D for 6 days in a row, right? If you think that that's the situation. But I don't believe that he pled to child abuse. It was a disturbance. It was a flipping the bird, other such things. And your timing is impeccable, right? Because I'm in the middle of closing my stream out. And I'm trying to talk about these masks, which can be cut before you send the fabric. If you email me and ask for the pattern, I will converse with you. The pattern has 2 pieces. The offensive gesture, thank you very much, Joe Black. The outside fabric is cotton felt on the inside. We're looking for a 70-30 or something particular about the fabric that it's really hard to see. And I have another call that I'm going to be making today. I have a roll of ground fabric, and if the ground fabric is blasted, we're going to have a table outside where people can just cut the linings inside the masks, and I got a whole roll of it, 400 feet or some shit like that. So and thanks to the not the instigator but Portion Control, our friend Bonnie, for covering that expense yesterday. So I love you all, but my battery is low. It's only holding on because there's a thing stuck into it, and that is that's the situation. But live covered the phone call today. I hope you all got to enjoy it. I hope if you didn't, you go back and listen to it. We did hear Eric in court for his plea deal, his hearing. We're going to do it again on the 7th. For those of you who can't do both, we're gonna be in Denver again. I'm gonna continue to follow up on this ADA thing, okay? Because Denver needs to have ADA phone calls as well. I left that message, and they'll be staying in touch with us. In the meantime, my name is Brian Loma. I am in the basement. You can find me at Cut The Plastic on Gmail, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I don't use them all the time. But it's 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and I need to sew more masks. So we'll talk to you all later. Thank you for being here. And one of my longest feeds in a while with the most amount of attendance. WordPress, that's another great website that I have. And there's a second case. There's no cases were moved. There's more cases. Okay, they're processing, they're running them. We're going to be on the 7th in Elbert County. We'll be on the 15th for another case in Denver. Yes, and today's case, he did plead guilty. We did have the audio, the video of that going on. And from now on, everything is going to be ADA accessible with conversation going on the screens. So this case was a plea deal so that he could get rid of the criminal case overseeing him, and I didn't mute Robert Chase, so I don't know who did. The understanding is that there are no child abuse cases. Eric didn't abuse any children. So we'll go with that. he was found guilty at protesting outside the Catholic school. So that was all, the only case with kids involved. But I believe that because of his assault and the pending charges with there's gameplay. I don't know all of it. So we're gonna let you go. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you at another time. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed, to subscribe, right? I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out, and we will do more of these video Eric Brandt calls live. Thanks, Out of the Watchdog. There's FTP's broadcast. He may have better volume, different angle, I don't know. And Spartacus, checks have been cut, my understanding is. I am not in charge of that. So you should email me if you have questions specifically on which bond, evidences of your dollar amounts, and whose pool that went to. Would be a fantastic way for me to do my best to assist you, recognizing that I'm not the one in charge of the finances. And if you want to send me some emails, folks, my primary job now is sewing these masks. So if you want to communicate with me, email me at cuttheplastic@gmail.com. I take an hour out of my day to respond to those on a regular basis. We appreciate you all for being here. We appreciate our moderators for moderating, and we appreciate all of you for doing the good work. May the 4th be with you.